version of Conor McGregor. The fans know when a guy is a real fighter. I've never seen anything like Conor.
There he is, UFC legend Daniel Cormier, my guy. Daniel, how are you? Good to see you. Hope all is well. Happy New Year. Let's get to it, because it's a really exciting time for UFC fans right now. We got Saturday on ABC, Holloway Cater, and then Conor McGregor returning to the octagon in over a year, and that's where I want to start, Daniel. So, yeah, been over a year since he fought. He's going to take on Poirier. They haven't fought in 6 years. That's UFC 257. What do you expect to see from McGregor?
I mean, Conor seems to be as motivated as we've seen him for a long time. You know, when you fight a guy like Floyd Mayweather and you make that type of money and you become a rock star like Conor did, it's easy to get caught up in that lifestyle, and it seems as though he did for a while. But coming back to 155, fighting Dustin Poirier again, and with Khabib walking away and the championship seeming to be up for grabs, or the Nurmagomedov rematch on the table, Conor McGregor seems so focused on coming back and doing something special and making us drop our jaws to the floor like he did so many times on his first run to becoming UFC double champion.
Daniel, that's nice, but let me ask you this question. What do you think is the motivation for Conor McGregor coming back to fight? Because he made the money with the Floyd Mayweather fight. The whiskey, I was talking to Dana White about this yesterday. He's making a boatload of money with that. So he's pretty set and he's good. What do you think is his primary motivation right now?
You know, Stephen A., that's a great question, because when we saw the fight and Conor was coming back, I immediately thought, what makes him want to fight now? Because for a while, he was away from the sport. Then he said he wanted to go 3 times last year. Money is not an object for this young man anymore. So it has to be competition. And you know that Conor McGregor, as a fighter, is as good as they come. Because Khabib Nurmagomedov, yes, he beat him and submitted him, but that was in the 4th round. And then Khabib beat Dustin Poirier in the 3rd round. Then he beat Justin Gaethje in the 2nd round. It's like the fights got more, he was more distance from the competition. And Conor had moments. So I believe that the competition is what's driving him now, because there is no other reason for him to be doing this. Like, when you're a man that has hundreds of millions of dollars in the bank, you got to be motivated to fight competitively, or you stay away.
As Marvelous Marvin Hagler said, the great middleweight champion of the 1980s, best pound-for-pound fighter in the world in his day. Hard to get up and go running at 5 in the morning when you're sleeping in silk pajamas. But I have to take exception of what you said about Conor and Nurmagomedov. He didn't give Nurmagomedov any run whatsoever. That was a domination, Daniel. Like, what?
Yes.
If all this is to eventually try to get to that rematch, what does Conor have to show you, given especially the way their styles match up, to make you think he'd have a shot at beating Nurmagomedov in a rematch?
So here's the thing, Max. I'm not saying he beats Khabib Nurmagomedov, but what I'm saying is, of all the fights we've seen Khabib have, the pound-for-pound best fighter in the world, there were moments in the 3rd round when Khabib attempted a couple takedowns, couldn't get Conor back to the ground. Conor was able to land a few shots. You know that Conor McGregor, on 2 judges' scorecards, won the 3rd round against Khabib Nurmagomedov. Granted, you know, it's apples to oranges, right? How tough is it really for Khabib? We're judging him on a different level, but Conor seemed to be the toughest guy at that moment. He would have to show me the ability to defend takedowns, even if it against Dustin Poirier, who's not a known wrestler. He would have to show that he's willing to go long again, because there have been times that when the fight goes long, Conor has seemed to struggle. But he seems to have everything in the right place right now to show a fantastic performance. If he goes out there and he wipes out Dustin Poirier as he did Cowboy Cerrone, then I don't know if we will have seen enough to think that he can push Khabib. But again, I think that for a long time, this has been the toughest fight that Nurmagomedov has had.
First of all, I don't think Khabib will ever fight him again, because I think he despises Conor McGregor so much. He thinks he's doing Conor McGregor a favor by fighting him, which is the number one reason why they wouldn't fight. Number 2, where I differ from Max in that regard, is that I looked at the fact that Conor hadn't really fought in a couple of years other than a Floyd Money Mayweather fight, and the fact that he had survived that long. Because look at Nurmagomedov against Gaethje. You could just tell from open and tap that Gaethje had no chance, because Nurmagomedov was just too strong, and he was coming for him. But I asked this
McGregor's a great
question
fighter.
when we look at and I love Gaethje, but when we look at Conor McGregor, talk to me about this. I'm not talking about Saturday's card. Saturday's card, it speaks for itself. But I would ask you this, Daniel: when you look at the sport itself, is there anyone out there with the potential to be another Conor McGregor? Because I think the UFC would love to have Conor McGregor, but in the same breath, from a box office standpoint, I don't see anybody that could pull off what he's pulled off in your fight game.
You know, Stephen A., there's never been anything like Conor. You know, he has reached a level where he's absolutely box office, right? He's not thought of as a mixed martial artist, whereas mixed martial artists are celebrities and they are stars. Conor McGregor is talked about in the same regard as LeBron James and Floyd Money Mayweather and Canelo Alvarez. The biggest fighters and athletes in the world is where Conor McGregor stands in terms of popularity. I don't know if there's anyone that's on the rise in that regard, but Israel Adesanya, the middleweight champion of the world, seems to be gaining traction with the mainstream fans and the people around the world.
He's big time. He's big time.
Yeah, he's the real
Yes,
deal.
he is.
If
No
John
question. Let me
Jones
get
could
in here.
stay in the ring.
Yeah, no question. John Jones would be best ever.
Moving up to
Daniel,
heavyweight.
gotta ask you this, okay? I've been knowing you a minute now, and I know you're part of Who Dat Nation. I know you're a huge Saints fan.
Yes,
so
I
you
am.
guys have swept the GOAT, Tom Brady, twice now this season. Daniel Cormier, are you nervous about this weekend?
Let me tell you something. Beating a team 3 times in 1 year, a good team like the Buccaneers are, is very daunting. It's tough. Not many teams have done that before. There's been a few times where we've seen this same scenario played out going into the playoffs, and the team that lost the first 2 won. But I have faith. I have faith in the Who Dat Nation. I have faith in the greatest quarterback of all time, Drew Brees. I have faith in one of the best running backs the NFL has seen in a long time, Alvin Kamara. And Michael Thomas is back. The defense is on fire. New Orleans is ready to go and get another championship, and I cannot wait. I'll be up at 5 o'clock in the morning
DC,
for kickoff in Abu Dhabi, ready for the game.
So DC, let me get this straight.
Yeah, you will.
Let me get this straight. Former light heavyweight
Yes.
champion, former heavyweight champion, the
Yes.
champion personified that you are.
Yes.
And I've seen you talk a lot of
Yes.
smack before you stepped in the octagon and whipped somebody's you know what. Your argument on behalf of the Saints is, I have faith. That's the best you can do.
I have faith. Hey, I have faith.
You're
Hey,
nervous.
Stephen A., I have
You're
faith.
nervous, aren't
Hey,
you?
Stephen,
You're nervous.
Stephen A., hey,
You're
Stephen A.,
nervous.
you asked me about the Saints. I started sweating. When y'all asked me about the Saints. Listen.
Right.
I have faith in the ability of my team. And listen, man, Sean Payton is a genius, and the game plan will be right for Sunday, and the Saints gets it done.
Okay. All right. He says I
Actually,
have faith, Max.
when my
I
ears
have
pricked
faith.
up on all that, what I took away from that is, did you call Drew Brees the best quarterback ever?
Hey, let me tell you something. There may be a little bit of bias in that statement, but it is what I believe. It is what I believe that he is he is the greatest quarterback of all time, and he's playing the second best quarterback of all time on Sunday.
I understand.
In Tom
I
Brady.
understand, DC. I understand, DC.
Yeah.
You have faith. You have faith.
Faith.
Way to go.
Greatest
They ain't gonna
quarterback
get
of
it
all
done.
time in
We
the,
get
in
it
the
done.
state of New Orleans.
They ain't gonna get it done. All right.
We get it done, Stephen A. We get it
Daniel,
done.
appreciate you.
I love Breeze though, so
I'm
it's
with
all
you.
right.
Faith over fear. Let's go. We'll see what it is. We'll have to check back
Let's
in with
go.
you 5 a.m. bright and early. We know you'll be watching. All right, we got other good stuff happening on Saturday.